Good morning, Eagles. I'm Lena.
I'm Aaron. Today is Friday, November 18th, 2022.
The word of the week this week is illustrate.
Here's a video from Mr. Grimley talking about the word of the week.
Good morning, Vietnam! Hey, this is not a test. This is rock and roll. Time to rock it from the Delta to the DMZ. Is that me or does that sound like an Elvis Presley movie? Viva Da Nang. Oh, viva Da Nang. Da Nang me, Da Nang me. They ought to take a rope and hang me. Hey, is it too early to be this loud? Hey, too late. It's 0600. What's the O stand for? Oh my God, it's early. Speaking of early, you are watching Eagle News Network. My name is Mr. Grimley, and I teach 10th grade World History Honors here at Pine Forest High School. This is my second year doing so. Foremost, I was born in New Orleans, Louisiana, as you can probably tell by my accent, and I've lived in Pensacola for the past 19 years. I'm also a triplet and the only boy, which means that I had to earn my keep growing up, and I still do to a certain extent. I attended Pensacola Catholic High School, and I received my associate's degree from Pensacola State College and my bachelor's degree from the University of West Florida. Go Argos. There's several main reasons why I decided to become a teacher. First and foremost, most of my mentors and role models growing up were teachers. In fact, my paternal grandmother was a special education teacher at the LSU Lab School in Baton Rouge for 25 years. And growing up, she would always share stories about her students at family gatherings and talk about, not only the crazy things that they would say or do, but more importantly, how many of her students would come back years later and thank her for all that she did to help them along their journey. And so I can finally appreciate those memories now that I'm following in her noble footsteps. I was also really lucky to have fantastic teachers all throughout my academic career from kindergarten to college. So I know firsthand what it's like to have a great teacher come along at the right point in your life, to get to know you by name, to take an interest in you as an individual, to encourage you to be the best that you can be, to hold you accountable, and really to invest in you and your success. So everything that I do for my kids as far as mentorship, leading by example, is my small way of paying back the eternal debt that I owe my teachers for helping me become the man that I am today. Another reason why I decided to become a teacher, I'm very passionate about what I believe in. I love to talk, as my students can attest to. I love sharing my knowledge with people. In fact, that's how modern universities began. People would pay masters of law and medicine. They would learn from the greats, and then once the students became masters themselves, they would pass their knowledge on to their friends and so on and so forth. So carrying on that ancient tradition of learning for life is something that I'm very proud to participate in. And finally, the last reason why I decided to become a teacher is, for me, education is the best way to put your money where your mouth is. There are too many people in this world who don't care, too many people who complain about the problems that we're facing as a country, as a society, as a culture, but for whatever reason don't do anything about it. And so teachers have a great responsibility to be the change that they want to see in the world, to lead by example, to really educate and really train the leaders of tomorrow. So classrooms, very important. Classrooms, I believe, are the crossroads of all the best and worst aspects of culture. It's a barometer of where the world is now and where it's going to be. So if there's anything that you can do to tip it in one direction or another, that's a very strong power, and I don't take it for granted. So the word of the week is illustrate. It basically means to demonstrate something visually, by pictures, charts, what have you. And in world history, I believe it presents itself very well to the visual. We have timelines to organize events in history, what came first, what came next, how did certain events lead to one another. As far as organizing information, we use a lot of graphs, charts, graphic organizers. really to help make history come alive. And as far as visual illustrations, what I told my kids on the first week of school is to think of history like a TV show, because in the end of the day, the stories you hear about in history are really no different than the stories you see in the movies or on the TV show. They have all the elements of a great story. They have dynamic characters, plot, suspense, action. And so I tell my kids to think of each standard in our class as a TV show. And every lesson in the standard builds upon each other like episodes in a TV show and end on a cliffhanger to keep you wondering what's going to happen next. And so if you think about history in those terms, you are much more likely to appreciate it in a way that you probably would not have thought possible. If you are given a presentation at work, let's say you're working at a company and you're going over the sales for a particular quarter, you'll use graphs, you'll use charts. If you're in the advertising business, eye candy is key. You know, you need to create an image that is appealing enough to where people will choose your product over the competition. Obviously, if you decide to pursue a career in the visual arts, painting, photography, a picture really paints 1,000 words. And in history, you look at political cartoons, certain paintings, they really are time capsules of what's going on at that particular moment in history, and it's really how we, in hindsight, review those points in history. It gives us perspective, so never underestimate the power of the visual. It all begins with you. In this current culture of influencers, of leaders, each and every one of you is a leader, whether you know it or not. Each and every one of you is an influencer, whether you know it or not. And as far as influence goes, what you say and what you do, good, bad, or ugly, people are going to follow. It's no surprise that kids are more often to listen to fellow students than they ever will to teachers. So please keep in mind, if you want to restore your reputation, the reputation of this school, you need to use your influence to do the right thing. Because if you're doing the right thing, you're going to make it cool. And if it's cool, everybody's going to want to do it. So it all begins with you.
Stay clean and wash your hands. Now for the weather.
Good morning, Eagles. Today is partly cloudy with a high of 59 and a low of 41 with a 0% chance of rain. I'm Devin, and that's all for the weather. Back to you, anchors.
The National Honor Society will have our next meetings today at 3:15 in room 159. Please see Ms. Hull if you have any questions.
Fall break will begin next Monday, November 21st.
Now for the sports.
Good morning, Eagles. Today's varsity football will face Choctaw High School at 7:30 p.m. Today, varsity girls basketball will play at Crestview at 6:30 p.m. Tomorrow, NJROTC will have their Northeast Lauderdale High School drill meet at Mississippi. Monday, November 21st, JV varsity boys basketball will face Pace at 6 p.m. and 7:30 p.m. Monday, November 21st, varsity girls basketball will face Blunt at 6 p.m. Tuesday, November 22nd, JV and freshman boys basketball will play Tate High School at 6 p.m. and 7:30 p.m. Tuesday, November 22nd, girls varsity basketball will play at Navarre at 6:30 p.m. Saturday, December 3rd, NJLTC will have the Neshoba drill meet competition in Philadelphia, Mississippi. That's all for the Eagle Sports. Back to you, anchors.
December 12th will be fall makeup pictures.
Junior Council, we will meet Thursday, November 17th after school in room 160. We will meet until 4 o'clock.
The Pine Forest Gay Straight Alliance will meet each Wednesday from 3:15 to 4 p.m. in room 522. Anyone interested in being a part of this organization is encouraged to come. Membership is open to all students.
Ms. Ratliff, our school's librarian, has created a challenging beans deck to motivate students to try different genres and log their reading minutes in the process. The Innovation Center is being organized right now so that students can easily access books of their interest. The top readers at the end of the month will be awarded with treats. I'm Lena.
I'm Aaron.
Signing off of Eagle Nation News.
Make sure to be respectful,
responsible,
and resilient.